The author of this story is Ritra Chatterjee. Yes, Papa, I will eat on time. Hey, don't worry. No, right now we are just two girls. Another girl is about to come. Minu was talking to her father when she saw Rima coming out of the bathroom. Okay, Papa, I will keep it now. Rima and I will prepare dinner now. Good night, Papa. It has been only a few days that Minu has come to Bangalore for college. After graduation, she took a job in the IT sector. In a new city, a person gets lonely very quickly. That's why when Maine came to know about this girl's hostel from her own office colleague Rima, she also shifted home. The landlord told her this. The house is made like a hostel for working women. 4 girls live on the first and second floors and Minu and Rima live on the third floor, but another new girl is going to come in the room next to them. Both of them are very tired after working in the office all day. It was already over, so she got busy in making hot roti and chicken with fulka. Minu and Rima have become very good friends in a short time. They were talking and cooking when suddenly Minu heard the sound of the gate opening and some stairs. I was coming up from the room, perhaps a new girl has come. Saying this, Rima went to open the door, then as she opened the door, she felt a strange feeling of restlessness. The sound of walking was slowly coming closer. Rima's heartbeat increased, the sound she came closer and her heartbeat increased. Standing alone in the kitchen, Maine was wondering why Rima was taking so much time. Then she looked back and saw that Rima was standing at the door and there was no sign of the third girl. Slow down the gas. Minu also came near Rima. What happened? Minu asked, did you also hear the sound of the feet? Rima said yes, I heard it. Then why has no one come up yet? Both of their eyes remained stuck towards the dark staircase. The sound of the feet has now stopped. Let's go down and let's see. Minu said. Both the girls came down the stairs a little and then peeped from above and saw that one girl was standing on the staircase of the other owner. When seen from above, the girl's head covered with curly hair was visible, but it was difficult to see her face. The girl had a suitcase in one hand and her phone in the other hand. She was talking to her mother on the phone. If you listened carefully, you could hear her words. Yes, mother, I will eat. You take care of yourself and you will get there soon. Both Rima and Minu were secretly watching him from above and listening to his words, then suddenly the girl raised her head and looked up. This thing happened so quickly that Minu and Rima were caught. There was something strange in the eyes of the girl which made her come with her. On contact, shivers ran through my body. The girl slowly came up while looking angrily. Minu and Rema stood at the door with their awkward smiles. The girl came in front of them and said, "Were you guys listening to me?" To control the situation. To this, Minu quickly replied, "No. We heard the sound of someone walking on the stairs and came to open the door. Landlord uncle had said that you are going to come today." Rima agreed with Minu and said, "We are just waiting for you. This is Minu and I, Rima, the new girl." Nene looked at both of them with suspicious eyes and said, "I am Jiminy." Before anything else could be said, Jiminy went straight to her room with her suitcase and closed the door loudly. She is a very strange girl. This is what Rema said, she is new and perhaps she is missing her family. Let's go to sleep after having food. I have to get up early for the meeting tomorrow morning. Minu went back to the kitchen. After having food, both the girls were sleeping deeply when suddenly they felt thirsty. Minu woke up, she had forgotten to put the water jug on the table. Rima was sleeping next to her in a deep sleep. Thinking that she might break her sleep too, Minu started walking towards the kitchen without turning on the light. Jamuna's house was next to the kitchen. Minu was returning to her room after drinking water from the kitchen, when she heard the sound of someone talking in a whisper. After listening carefully, I understood that the sound was coming from Jamuna's room, Minu. I thought in my mind, this girl went so late at night, whom is she talking to? A curiosity arose in Minu's mind. Very slowly, Without making even the slightest sound, Minu reached Jiminy's door, then she peeped inside the room from the hole and saw Jiminy's daughter. She is sitting there, her black hair is flying in the wind and a candle is burning on the table in front of her. Jiminy is swinging on the bed holding a photograph in her hand and is blabbering like crazy, her words are not heard well. Minu was not able to understand why this new girl was like this, then she saw something that gave her goosebumps. Jiminy placed the photograph on the table and picked up a small box. Opening the lid of the box, he took out a lizard from inside. Jiminy was holding the lizard by its tail. The lizard was hanging upside down and was floating in the air begging for its life, but Jiminy did not spare its life. She opened her mouth and without hesitation, she swallowed that lizard. Minu's body had gone numb. How can a living human being eat a lizard? There is something wrong with this girl. Then suddenly Jamni turned her head towards N. I don't know how the doors were closed. From the other side, Jiminy realized that Mani was keeping an eye on her. It felt as if someone had fried Jiminy. Mani immediately turned back and without waiting for a second, came to her room and closed the door out of fear. She was out of breath because of this. Her lips were trembling. There was a sound of opening the door of Jiminy's room. Then the sound of her footsteps stopped outside Minu's room. Minu thought that whatever happens, don't let Jiminy know. That he had seen her. There was no sound for 2 minutes, only the running heartbeat of Minu was heard, then the sound of Jiminy closing the door came. To ascertain whether Jiminy had gone to her room or not, Minu as soon as she went to her room, near the door from the keyhole, on the other side of the keyhole, I found an eye looking inside my own room. The pupil of that eye was not like that of a human, the pupil of that eye was of dark red color as if it was filled with blood. She felt as if her head was spinning and she was going to faint very soon. Minu, get up, you will be late for office. Minu woke up due to Rima's voice. As soon as she woke up, did all the events she saw last night seem like a bad dream? What happened last night, whatever Minu had seen, was it all her responsibility? Minu was not able to understand anything. When Minu came out for office after taking bath, she found Jiminy standing on the stairs. There was a strange smile on Jiminy's face. Without talking to anyone, Minu ignored Jiminy and went to the office, but her mind remained restless the whole day. No matter how hard she tried, Minu could not concentrate on her work. At the time of lunch break, Rima asked Minu, "What's the matter? Today you seem a little upset. You seem to be feeling fine, don't you think this Jiminy is strange?" "Yes, it is strange, even today in the morning I heard him talking to his mother. But who talks to his mother so secretly? I did not understand." Minu did not understand what he said last night. Things were not told to Rima. After finishing the office work, Minu came back home that day. Rima had gone to her aunt's house, so today there were only Minu and Jiminy on the 3rd floor. I did not feel like cooking today, so Minu had bought bread and vegetables. She was serving her food in the kitchen when suddenly her phone rang. It was Papa's call. "Yes, Papa, tell me son, everything is fine." "No, I have made friends with the new roommate." "No, she doesn't talk that much." "Yes, the landlord told me." "Poor girl, you and Rima, take some care of her." "Son, it is the job of friends to support someone in their bad days." "We are not friends, Father, but what are you talking about? What is wrong with Jiminy?" "Hey son, just a few months ago, his mother passed away. He had no one else except his mother. In this world," the landlord was also saying with great sadness, "take care of her son, is he okay?" His phone fell from Minu's hand. The sound of the glass breaking kept echoing in Minu's ears, but due to this sudden shock, she lost her entire mind. The body was frozen like ice. If it has been months since Jiminy's mother died, then how does Jiminy talk to her mother on the phone? Before Minu could think anything else, the lights suddenly went off as Minu turned back, holding her hand. Jiminy was standing very close to him with a candle. There was a terror in Jiminy's eyes. In a scary voice, she asked Minu, how will she eat food in the dark? Minu's throat went dry after seeing Jiminy laughing cheerfully. In the light of the candle, Jiminy became even more fearful. It seemed to me, have you eaten? Minu asked with a trembling voice. Jiminy laughed again. You know what I eat, right? Minu's hands and legs had become numb. Then an incident happened for which Minu was completely unaware. Jiminy was not ready and started laughing like crazy. Her whole body started shaking with the fury of laughter. While laughing, Jiminy's eyes started turning inward in her head, and on the other side of those eyes, the eyes with red pupils that she had seen that night came out. Those eyes were not of any human being, they were the eyes of the devil. Minu shouted in fear, Jiminy, what is happening to you, Jiminy? But now Jiminy's body was not in her control, she had completely changed, cruelty was dripping from her face as if she has been thirsty for blood for years. Slowly, Jiminy started shaking her head to the right and then to the left and started singing the familiar lullaby that she had heard in her childhood, Lady ki Kathy Kathy pa goda god ki dam pa jo marahathada dava 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 goda tuatha kudra pa. Now the voice that was coming out of her throat was not the voice of any girl but the voice of a vampire. While singing like this, Jammy pounced on Minu. Minu fell on the ground screaming, then I don't know how, Minu's phone started ringing. The alarm tone was a verse from Hanuman Chalisa. Menu's father had said that if you start every day with the name of God, the day goes well. As soon as the tune of Hanuman Chalisa started resonating, Jiminy left the menu. Jiminy covered her ears with her hands. Jiminy's body started trembling as she lay on the ground. Black blood started coming out of her mouth. After some time, Jiminy became unconscious. 2 days later, Jiminy was admitted to the hospital. When her eyes opened, she did not remember anything. According to the doctor, Jiminy had suffered a heart attack due to the grief of her mother's passing, but Pisces knows that Jiminy had come under the control of some unsatisfied soul, perhaps when Jiminy used to call her mother. Some vampire had taken advantage of her sadness and had overpowered Jiminy. Minu is now sure that Jiminy has been freed from the hands of that vampire, but one thing that is bothering Minu is that the morning alarm goes off at 7 in the evening. 7:30. How did it start? Was it Jiminy's mother who helped her daughter and Minu at the same time? If you liked this story, then subscribe us, do follow our Facebook page, and yes friends,